A dragon encounter in D&D has got to be epic, and there is no dragon more epic than this one. The classics, red, black, green dragons, etc., are all terrifying and challenging, but you want to give your players a dragon encounter that has those things, plus twists and surprises they will never see coming. Hey there, adventurers. Welcome to Monster Week, an annual event organized by Jenny D and Pointy Hat to bring together TTRPG creators from all over YouTube. This year, it's Dragon Week. My name is Judd, and this is Short Rest Studios, where we believe fun builds community. Any dragon encounter can be memorable, but when the name of the game is Dungeons and Dragons, you want it to be legendary. When your players meet one, you want it to be epic. And this is the dragon that can literally do what your mom always threatened and slap you into the middle of next week. Meet the most epic dragon in D&D, the Time Dragon. Hang around, because at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about the Time Dragon's most brutal ability. Like every dragon in D&D lore, the Time Dragon is terrifying, majestic, and powerful, but there are a couple of things that set it apart from every other dragon in the game. First, Time Dragons like history. They hoard historical records and objects from lost cultures, which might sound a little boring, but a Time Dragon's hoard could hold a treasure from a lost empire, or a magical device of forgotten power, or even just the kind of lost historical information that could be worth a hefty price to the right buyer. Time Dragons are generally neutral, and personally, I think that makes them even more terrifying than a chaotic evil dragon, because with the ancient Time Dragon's 27 intelligence, you just don't know what they might decide to do at any given moment. Plus, and this is the other thing that really sets them apart from other dragons, the Time Dragon holds within its shiny claws the Multiverse's undo button. Check this out from Mort's Planar Parade, found in the Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse box set. These sleek dragons harness the power of time to manipulate the past, present, and future. Time Dragon wormlings are born with shining scales and have horns that are barely more than nubs. As they master the flow of time, their horns grow with branching rainbow-hued veins suggestive of time's paths and possibilities. Ancient Time Dragons can create temporal gates connected to specific times and places in the multiverse. That means a Time Dragon can travel anywhere in time it wants to go. And it can take its friends. Maybe the dragon goes back in time to stop an evil dictator from overthrowing a government. Or maybe it decides that civilization that narrowly escaped decimation by a Tarrasque 1,000 years ago and formed the basis for the society your PCs now live in really needed to be destroyed. And this ability causes them to not only have a flexible view, the book says, of time, but it gives them an eerie, unstuck from the chronological flow quality. For the sake of time, we're going to look at the ancient Time Dragon because, the bigger they are, the scarier they are. But rest assured, the wormling, young, and adult versions could all definitely have their place in your game. Ancient Time Dragons have an AC of 22 due to their natural armor, pretty standard for a dragon. They've got a middling strength at 28, again that's for a dragon. They lean toward the high side of Dex with 14. Their stats round out with a 26 Con, 18 Wisdom, 23 Charisma, and a scary high 27 Intelligence. And then there's that 536 HP. Even without anything else I'm about to tell you, a Time Dragon is hard to kill, hard to run away from, and exceptionally hard to outsmart. And since they've got blind sight, dark vision, and a whopping 30 passive perception, it's almost impossible to sneak up on them. Let me say here that Keith Amon's book and blog, The Monsters Know What They're Doing, has had a huge impact on the way I think about monster tactics as a DM, as well as the content of this video. I'm dropping a link to all those in the description. Imagine your party approaches the ruins of an ancient city hidden in a deep jungle. The plants and animals you see have an odd, timeless quality, and the last rest you took seemed to take no time at all. Those ruins must be the Time Dragon's lair. As with any dragon, you start to experience a Time Dragon's power as soon as you enter the region of its lair. Within 3 miles, you start to experience what's called time dilation. Time begins to fluctuate, meaning your party's short rest could take 10 minutes or 2 hours. And living things in the region, beasts, humanoids, and plants, age only 1 year for every 10 that pass. The dragon knows the moment you enter the lair. It knew you were coming. It knows what's going to happen. And if your party gets on its bad side, you're out of luck. Like many of my favorite monsters, time dragons are strong in stealth with a plus 18. Pair that with their incredibly high intelligence and the fact that they most likely know you're coming, and the dragon will be set to ambush your party. This is a dragon, so why not ambush from above? Now you have a choice here as the DM. From its position of surprise, the dragon could use its 3 rend attacks. I assume that's a swipe of the claws or a snap of the teeth. The book doesn't really specify. They each do a pretty respectable 22 slashing and 10 force damage, or, and I kind of like this idea, it could just come out with metaphorical guns blazing. Your party enters the shadowy center of the ruined city. Vines cover the crumbling walls and a half-collapsed roof hangs precariously overhead. Suddenly, the massive, silvery, iridescent dragon looms into view above and opens its mouth, emitting a wave of shimmering light that engulfs the PCs and their surroundings. Stones and leaves wither and crumble to dust in an instant. The pain is intense, but worse, every person hit has the sense that they're somehow untethered from time. The Time Dragon's breath weapon, which it can of course recharge on a 5 or 6, alters time. The combat effect of this is the target has to make a DC 24 con save. If the character succeeds on that save, they take half of the 8d12 force damage. If they fail, well, they take all the damage, which averages 52, and they're poisoned, giving them disadvantage on attack rolls and giving other creatures resistance to any damage that PC deals. They continue to make those saves until they get 3 successes, which ends the condition. The Time Dragon has one more action, but I'm saving that for later in the video because I just love it so much. It's completely bonkers. Then, of course, there are the dragon's lair actions. With Temporal Fling, a target within 60 feet who fails a DC 18 wisdom save takes 26 psychic damage and moves 1 round forward in time. Basically, this is a way for the dragon to remove one opponent temporarily. And as Keith Amon writes in his blog, it's a great punishment for impertinent rogues. Timeline divergence allows the dragon to be in 2 places at once, but it can only act from one of those places. Then there's temporal lag, and it's insane. As the next round of combat begins, the world around your PCs suddenly seems to be moving twice as fast. Or have they slowed? Your fighter advances, but before he can raise his sword, the dragon strikes. Temporal lag allows the dragon to slow time for any creatures within 60 feet of it, meaning that for the remainder of the round, they can either take their action or move on their turn. Not both. There's no attack roll and there's no save. It just happens. Your wizard finally manages to hurl a fireball. The dragon miraculously fails its dex save, but then just decides that it succeeded. It takes half damage. That's the Time Dragon's legendary resistance. As the dragon dodges that fireball, he swipes a gigantic claw at your barbarian. The dragon turns a vengeful eye to your wizard, and suddenly she can't move. Your fighter manages to land a massive attack, but the dragon somehow only takes half damage, and before the fighter can attack again, teleports onto a stone ledge 60 feet up. Yes, the Time Dragon has 3 reactions, and it can take 3 per round. Reactive Rend allows it, when it's been hit by an enemy or used its legendary resistance, to launch a Rend attack. Slow Time reduces the speed of a character suffering the effects of time breath to 0, and there's no way to increase it, at least until they succeed on those 3 con saves to end their weakened condition. As Keith Amon says, since any such opponent is likely to be one with lower constitution, this circumstance presents an ideal opportunity to smash a glass cannon. Time Slip, its 3rd reaction, simply allows it to take half damage from an attack and immediately teleport to a spot it can see up to 60 feet away. The fact that this is a reaction makes it, as Amon writes, an excellent jerk move to use against an opponent who gets to make 3 or 4 attacks per turn. I truly believe that fun builds community, and I can't build this community alone. Please consider joining the Adventurers Guild at patreon.com/shortreststudios or by hitting the join button right under this video. You'll become integral to keeping the cameras rolling on this channel, and to show you my gratitude, you get access to a guild-only Discord channel, guild member shout-outs, and quarterly adventure seeds written by yours truly. check out patreon.com/shortreststudios or click the join button right down there and help me make more fun and grow the Short Rest Studios community. Now, here is what I promised you, the most insane, devastating, epic of the Time Dragon's actions. The battle has ground on, and the party has taken the upper hand. The Time Dragon, wounded, is not deterred. In a deep, resonant voice that shakes the very earth, it said, "This has gone on long enough." The dragon lifts its massive head, and a circle of pure light, 20 feet across, forms between its rainbow-hued horns. The circle begins to swirl and pulse with color until an image forms within it. An image of a land ravaged by war, by nature, and by time. A land devoid of life. In one swift motion, the dragon swings its neck downward, trapping your fighter, barbarian, and wizard within the circle of light. The dragon raises its head, and in the circle, a portal to the gods know when or where. The three party members stand in that wasteland, beating on the surface of the portal as though it were an impossibly thick pane of glass. The rogue and the ranger are left to fend for themselves. Time Gate. Once per day, the dragon can conjure a 20-foot diameter circular portal that links to a precise location on any plane of existence and at any time. Get this, up to 8,000 years in the past or future. It lasts 24 hours or until the dragon stops concentrating on it. The portal has a front and a back in each location, but travel is only front to back. So in my example, the PCs could go around to the other side and come back to help their friends, but if they don't think to try that, the dragon can form this portal either between its horns or at another fixed point. According to Amon's blog, an ancient time dragon isn't going to simply wait and see whether its opponents are going to cluster up neatly arranged for transport. In my example, the dragon takes out maybe the party members it thinks of as the biggest threats. But it is incredibly smart, and it knows that the best use of this little trick, and maybe even the layout of its lair, is to lure the party to a place where it can trap them all in that portal. And of course, if you do manage to kill a time dragon, it's just going to come back. I mean, it may take 100 years, but the dragon's essence is simply forms a new, impenetrable, indestructible egg and goes to some other plane of existence and comes back in 1D 100 years. What do you think, adventurers? Is that not the most epic dragon in D&D? Drop me a comment and let me know. If you enjoyed this video and want more of this kind of content, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and please consider supporting this channel by joining the Adventurers Guild at patreon.com/shortreststudios or by hitting the join button under the video. Don't forget to check out the other great Dragon Week videos, and then watch this one to crank up the fun in your combat encounters by ditching fair fights. I'll see you next time on Short Rest Studios.